thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to...
Hey, Tainari!
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by.
Well, the exhibition, even so.
Oh!
Not this time, no. I'm just here to help out.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He can...
Never mind. Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got...
Tainari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon like that! Paimon is super careful about what she eats. Well, looks like Tainari might be busy for a while.
The show begins!
Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Huh?
Paimon's... fine. She's just got a little...
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
It's... But, I was...
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, the scent is so nice! Wait! Whoa, that was fast! Paimon doesn't have to sneeze anymore!
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either. Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition too?
I suppose that's accurate. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emilie, a perfumer from Fontaine.
Paimon is Paimon! Thank you so much for your help just now. Oh, and this is...
The Traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
What happened back there?
Have you ever heard of hay fever? To put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens...
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird happened then.
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens may seem minimal, but inhaling various types at once can trigger a more overt reaction. But there's no need to worry. Pollen out...
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air. Emily? What a coincidence.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I offered them a bit of help, that's all. I'm more curious as to why you thought...
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
The Spirit Borneal didn't affect Paimon at all.
It's not really something you...
Exactly.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon...
In addition to medicine, Emilie is also very knowledgeable about botany.
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge,
A flower expert?
Wrong.
well, I did...
Oh, Paimon was sure she...
It's a kind of...
August, huh? That's not...
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's... that reminds me. Our youth perfume mania was an event that occurred. It all started when several merchants released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You could take advantage of the soaring price by hoarding them and reselling at even higher margin. The value of these products became so inflated. But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result. In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
What does all this have to do with that?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million more a bottle.
10 million? Then what about...
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal... Its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. Indeed, the Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was, when the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never...
But didn't you say you came...
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower...
Traveler, we should help Emilie look for it.
I have to agree.
Even if I can look... Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments, to be sure. When it comes to perfume...
Wow!
Of course, every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste. And the rumor...
Okay, that's more like the...
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared on the market. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, then I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making what...
That makes sense.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your help.
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad.
Huh, I suppose...
Based on the information I have so far, Mr. Edgar also thinks it's
I was just about to...
Edgar?
the person you've been trying to guess this whole time. Back when he was still working in Fontaine.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery.
So this... Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings. They're being used...
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that Mora back?
It's been so long. I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother...
Oh, yeah, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business.
Hold on.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emilie? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. You're all grown up. I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine.
Oh, well...
Hard. I've taught many students. And who are these two? I don't...
they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emilie's friends.
And these two gentlemen? Are they...
Of course, I'm Ood, and this here is my younger brother.
Yes.
Merchant brother.
You must be here to look for the
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of a goose?
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason. I commissioned a few eremites to do some... That being, some of them were a one-of-a-kind.
Maybe some...
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time. Very few perfumes can go decades without a change in scent. Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would have completely degraded. Although, could there be a flower out...
Impossible! If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never...
Technically speaking, the scent wouldn't be impossible to...
Well, let's table that question for now.
No. By the time they compared to things...
Wait, are you saying
Just thinking.
We don't have much. You all traveled.
Ooh, you've got the keys to the room.
I managed to
Oh, and we...
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some... Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping. It shouldn't take up too much space.
Well...
Of course, no trouble at all. My brother and I will keep an eye.
All right, then. Ood, why don't you take Emilie inside and find a suitable place for her luggage? I'll prepare some refreshments.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say Hyman took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants. But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite. Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well? Blaze!
Yes.
All right, then. Where can we find you?
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine. Could I trouble you to bring that back as...
How?
Is that so? Mr. Ood, Mr. Blake...
Hey! What are you doing?
That's Master's voice.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar!
Kyria.
Hey, Edgar?
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Oh, really? Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the Well, we looked all over.
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid. He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now. Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical... But first, Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucian...
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle? I'm afraid we've never heard of the...
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste. There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3, a researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste. The 2 brothers capitalized on the myth. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their account.
And what does that have to do with us? There are countless merchant families in Fontaine. You gonna accuse them of being criminals too?
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond. But when I called you Lucien just now, the name registered immediately.
Miss Emilie, you have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who
You claim to be regular perfume merchants, and yet...
What?
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respect, unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like the Fortress of Meripede, perhaps?
Emilie, you little...
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you, no matter what happened all those years ago. But Master's life is in danger. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, So I'd like to trouble you for some information.
Fine.
Sylvain!
Lucien, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff to the Maison. You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucien, Edgar, and a researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation, Vijava. Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. They did their meddling, and my brother...
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in...
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, but we can talk about that some other time.
Whoa, why the rush?
What? He's the most famous...
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a
No. I'll start gathering my forces.
What about you, Tainari? Do you have a plan?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emilie needs my... Then she was not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. As for me...
Oh, that's right.
From Emily's letter, certainly. I didn't have time to look. I have friends and I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over.
Things a the hotel first. Emilie!
No longer in critical condition, my chemical analysis of a goose also went smoothly. Although, I was able to identify the components that give the
Elemental energy?
hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product every day for 10 years. As for whether Master's condition was caused,
Oh, that reminds...
I received a message.
Oh, Paimon thought he might... excuse me? Is Miss Emilie here? Oh, perfect! Familiar face?
Kale. Ah, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. And please, no need for formalities. Emilie is just fine.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss, Emilie. Did Tainari send you here, Kale? Yep.
It's locked?
There's no one here.
Lucian! Lucian!
That's Sylvain's voice!
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Emilie! Emilie! My brother!
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
No, that's not possible!
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next?
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain? We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He's like a shell of his former self. He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is equally painful. All the moments he shared with his brother.
If Kyria really...
Lucian can no longer speak. But the Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up. Miss Emilie, I heard you're an experienced forensic...
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do...
Then, would you mind helping...
Of course, I appreciate your trust.
We'll help too.
Pupils are dilated, skin is flushed.
And the windows are shut tight too. looks like we've
So, did you find anything?
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain...
No, his reaction to the loss of his brother seemed genuine, and he doesn't have a motive.
Then what could have happened last night? I know Sylvain...
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries.
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon.
After Kyria attacked Edgar, we returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our room. But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise!
So, no movement from the room next door. No signs of a struggle at the scene, and no external injury.
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated, and his skin was flushed. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything. The more plausible explanation is that he...
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. No. Emilie, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on.
No, I didn't...
See? A goose...
That may be true for most people.
Master!
Edgar? You're up and about already?
Thanks to Emilie, I'm out of the woods for now. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to hide it, the truth will always come to light.
Edgar!
Even if we could know, he would... That's Vijay. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She...
The Fatui. Well,
Ah, so you've already detected...
Oh,
The Auguste
the Fatui...
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged...
Everything she did, it was for her brother, Kyria. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui
Strike a pop! There is no escape! Emilie! Chef!
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have some?
Oh, that's very...
Oh, it's not good.
was...
You seem very preoccupied with cure.
Oh, Hey, Emily! Kale? No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through. I've just been thinking. If Kiria has the capacity to commit murder, there was just a single when I accompanied maybe Kiria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to. So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucien?
Based on what we've heard about Kiria,
Losing his sister all those years ago. What has. Whenever I get to thinking like that, I'm sorry.
there's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families mourn their loved ones. Their cries of devastation and anger. Some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to erase them. Surround yourself with fragrance. So while you hold on to that sense of empty, do Sylvain and Luce answering those questions I've witnessed, but generally speaking,
Once you're consumed by.
you're right. But that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on. I understand Kiria's decision, but I still want to.
Huh.
Emilie, Traveler. Huh? Edgar. You're.
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for.
Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I've grown attached to these. I would imagine Sheriff
The Night Watch! You mentioned earlier that we still need to confirm our plans.
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area, but we still don't have anyone standing guard next to Sylvain's room. Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next. And Emilie's expertise is sure to come in handy.
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
Not a peep. Has Kiria given up on his revenge? Guess. Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes, he could have tipped off the Marechaussee fan. There must be something we're missing.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then. Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, clay. Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear?
It was the older of the merchant brothers.
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucien.
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy.
Do you think it could be the work of an evil... I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people?
Keep it moving, everyone. No lo-
I suppose.
You don't know that. Kiria already attacked you once, and you survived.
You were the only reason.
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity.
Is that so? I have exceptional students, but Kiria has nothing. It really makes you...
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kiria himself.
Well, Emilie, what So many flowers were transported here for the weather, Kyria. I know it.
Of course,
Really? Now
Sheriff Shams.
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting.
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's plan will go well. Oh, but Kali still looks quite worried. Let's go talk to her. Starfall! Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run into any— Yeah!
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting them. To be honest, I'm still not.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire— Let's go! We'll show you where the cook— Drop! This is it!
The glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a.
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emily, you're back!
Exactly.
A flower that only.
Exactly. Although the Needle Pala Lotus wouldn't be a good substitute. That's why Kyria chose the glaze lily as his mechanism.
If applied to the outside, you would still be able to smell. If poured into the flower pot, the liquid would seep into the. That doesn't sound right. There's a sticky. If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then in the daytime.
That's right. He applied it. That way, the agouste would remain true. However,
And Kyria could exit—
by the next morning, the sample of agouste would have nearly fully evaporated.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of agouste is so toxic? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole.
That's because agouste is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy? That can't be right.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more. You can think of it this.
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. In Sumeru, scholars use.
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine. Not too.
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came— Ah, yes.
In Sumeru, it's not.
Flowers are pretty important to this plant.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he probably used— But in the end—
There's a saying, but up until this, but because he's been disguised as.
Creating such an intricate mechanism, it all points to one. Kyria and Edgar are one and the same.
But Kyria was only in his teens back then. Edgar's lived here for so many years.
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some— Do you think Kyria kidnapped him?
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that—
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail. I don't see.
It would seem Master decided to tap it.
What? But that's so dangerous.
But why?
No. If his aim was to target
If he left Sylvana,
then...
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator.
The scent is getting stronger. This must...
Oh! Oh! Are you all right? Were you at...
No, I'm all...
Let me take a look.
the air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, this feeling...
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress of the chase.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He's a good man.
O's, you need to calm down and listen to me.
But how is that? Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary Kyria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body.
No.
And what if I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real Edgar in Fontaine not long after his release while Edgar was incarcerated. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous and Sumeru fit. As the years went by, he removed his disguise.
That explains why he aged himself.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind of...
What you really need...
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, I know how to relieve your symptoms, but I'm sure Kyria... No, Edgar wouldn't want any more innocent people implicated in all the...
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision... Actually, no, I hate to try...
Thanks. Hear that? We're heading out. There's work to be done. O's, head back to Port Orm...
Traveler, Emilie, for someone who's old...
Don't worry. This isn't... We're not going to let... Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy. I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps... fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion comes at a cost.
But why would Kira... He only needed a few bottles of a...
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru to wither. But Kiria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life in Sumeru for someone with nowhere to call home. Perhaps dying among a bed of Agus flowers just like his sister is the best homecoming he could ask for.
Extract! Illusion shattered!
Silence!
Shine down! Neutralize!
Bow your head.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end. The scent of flowers is getting stronger.
Did they catch up that fast? No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter. This...
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those... Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on... I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Yelena!
I'm alive. No.
That was an illusion, likely brought about...
No! The amount of Auguste I drank, a fake.
We started making the preparations to create a perfect The accord is the basis of perfume making, the product in its most primitive
form. Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
This is... the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind.
Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind no more. Myths can be deconstructed, miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emilie?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste?
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed?
Impossible. Even if you found if Auguste.
It was a combination, but recently,
Rainbow Rose.
Auguste was created over 10 years. Perfumery, the myth of
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that, but the meaning you assigned to Auguste became you believed in its divinity, and grant your obsession with Auguste is also what allowed us to.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, so since you've been preparing your accords, that means then.
Yes.
Who knows?
I know if you had things. All the crimes
Is that so?
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fat.
I don't feel the need to just. I did.
Careful,
Stick close.
Looks like
Of course, Master.
the combination.
The scent of Auguste is so
You're saying
rainbow roses, glaze, but if you
rainbow, Yelena.
Did you know? Right. I heard.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss. I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth. Especially after all the I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more. Also, I was hoping you could.
Of course! A good sense of... Oh, it smells...
It's all right. Besides, when it comes to perfume,
Right! Do those flowers have
if I had
a language of flowers?
what each flower is. After returning to Fontaine, I did some. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena.
You think Kiria...
I paid him a visit. Who knows? Yelena is gone. Even if that, avenging her... Kiria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed. In any case, thank you for saving my life. For giving me the chance to learn that a good love and hatred are a privilege when someone dies. But even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we... And yet, at the very...
Ad Astra Abyssa. Thank you for